how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a very special video because we got a massive live stream for the Medieval Japan mod Shokuho over on the mods Discord. They basically streamed for about 4 hours and then uploaded the footage unlisted to YouTube, and they were kind enough to go ahead and let me make some content on it so I could bring you guys a brief overview of everything they talked about. And oh boy, did they talk about and show a lot of stuff. We got a massive glimpse into the production. We got to take a look at the campaign maps, siege battles, naval combat. We got a look at troop trees, their cool custom duel locations. We actually go and just kind of fight and rank up through the legends of Japan. A brief look at their industry system, cannons, as well as a ton of maps and siege castles. Honestly, it all looks absolutely incredible. I will be sure to, of course, link their Discord along with the unlisted streams if you want to check out the entire thing down below in the description. However, do keep in mind this was a Discord stream, so the quality of the stuff in the background isn't going to be exactly the highest. Discord does have a bit of kind of blurriness, and then obviously when I'm putting it onto YouTube there's a bit more compression there. And obviously as well, the actual mod content is heavily work in progress. They talk about having plenty of placeholder items, stuff that was maybe in the mod previously, but they've kind of grown to realize that they don't actually want that to be the way it is, and they are planning on changing it, but it's kind of low priority. And other stuff they just have not got around to doing yet, because after this live stream you really realize just what a colossal project this is and is going to continue to be to actually achieve the quality that they're going for. And I think as of so far they are definitely achieving it. So first things first, we get a good little glimpse at the campaign map and what is currently done in said campaign map. As of right now, as you can see, they've only fully fleshed out the bottom 2 islands in the west of Japan and are currently proceeding with a vertical slice mentality, whereas they are basically just implementing these one at a time. At the beginning of development there was only the left island, and then they added where the Chosakabi are, and will continue to kind of follow that line as the mod gets more and more developed. The main reasoning behind this is just simply if they were to put down every single castle, which is going to be hundreds on the campaign map, then if something breaks or maybe Tail Wars updates something, they're going to have to go and change it for all of that. Whereas this way they can kind of approach the system, put cities down, castles, do the a lot of the kind of back end stuff, and then use all that experience, the stuff that goes wrong, the stuff that they need to fix, to kind of further when they do add in more and more, and of course build up Japan into the mega island it is going to be. I think as of right now that they said that something along the lines that vanilla Bannerlord is roughly about the size of the 2 islands that are currently in the game, maybe a little bit more of the mainland to the north, but yeah, you can kind of see that it's roughly around about 3 times larger than vanilla, so that should hopefully make things pretty exciting. And of course, as you guys will see throughout this, the actual campaign map looks gorgeous. The attention to detail is second to none. I absolutely love what they've done. It really does give you a vibe that you are playing a completely different game, whether it's the actual city models, whether it's the characters, the armies running around, the ships, which you guys will see later on. It just looks great. So yeah, the actual aesthetic of the campaign map is beautiful. Next, we'll move on to the special locations that are going to appear across Japan in your playthrough. These range from post-battle scenes where you'll be able to actually go and loot and kind of almost play Escape from Tarkov inside of your Bannerlord campaign, defeating looters as they try and scavenge for the goods of this once epic battle that the AI generates. They mentioned that these locations are generated after a pretty large scale battle by the AI, so I think anywhere between 500 versus 500 all the way up to 1,000 versus 1,000 soldiers. And in these locations you'll be tasked with moving around, securing loot from dead bodies, and then trying to escape as, you know, the AI and other looters roam around trying to do exactly the same. And this is something that you do just want to see in these massive overhaul mods. Different ways to play the game, different mechanics, that you're not just doing the same thing as you have been doing in Bannerlord for the past 4 years. However, this is not the only interesting location you're going to run across. There are also dual locations, and these are going to be scattered around the map. Some are going to be tied to quest lines, and you're going to have to work your way through that quest line to actually, you know, enter into these duels and make a good name for yourself as a budding samurai or a disgraced ronin. However, just like stuff like bandit hideouts, there's going to be plenty of these that you're going to be able to just enter in and duel, and you're going to be able to go in and basically fight a randomly generated opponent. As you can see, the actual scenes for these duels look beautiful. The vibrance of the colors are hopefully the YouTube compression isn't too brutal, and it does do it justice because it looks absolutely incredible. Depending as well on the actual skill level of the opponent you're fighting, the more well-trained and aggressive samurai will just come at you right away, whereas the more novice and defensive ones, the lower tier ones, will be a bit more defensive and they'll kind of sit back and let you make the first move. And once again, this is just a really cool system, something very unique and different, and definitely fits the theme of a mod. And once again, the armors, the actual kind of scene that you're fighting in looks great. They have also shown off as well, it's currently bugged, but there is going to be a cutscene as well as you prepare for the duel. So it's going to be fun to see that actually expand and yeah, look really good when it is all sorted out and fixed. Next, we get a real good look at just the sheer amount of assets that are currently in the mod, from the whole wealth of different armors, helmets, swords, chest armors. We've got overcoats, we've got kind of unique different types of armor that are specific to Japan. We have horse bridles, and honestly just so much more. So this was just basically a nice little look at, you know, currently what they've got in the mod. There's still plenty of assets that just haven't been implemented into their dev build yet, but you can really start to see the sheer amount of equipment that is going to be implemented into this mod. They also talk about the shoulder slot as well. There's plenty of different ways that they've gone about it. Sometimes you can got kind of the longer Japanese shoulder armor pieces, but others will kind of, you know, react in coats. They'll reacting kind of over gambesons and straw kind of I guess capes almost. I don't actually know the specific name for it, but yeah, they're going to approach it that way and allow you to really kind of flavor up your samurai in whatever way you want to. The next thing we get to look at is some of the boats. So they are planning on full naval combat in the mod. They're planning on you to be able to actually command fleets at sea, just like you can in a normal Bannerlord battle. You're going to be able to command multiple ships all in one go, which is going to be pretty exciting. They have said that they are actually made some really good progress on this, but it's just not quite ready to show yet. So hopefully later on down the line in the next couple of weeks or months, we'll actually get a good glimpse of how it's going to fully function. But the ship models look great. I actually didn't really think about it, but I feel like a lot of the Japanese ships are actually really well designed, I guess, for Bannerlord combat. It's just like basically a land fortress moving forward, and if two ships can connect, then you can fight over that. And it's, you know, there's a lot of space to go ahead and do combat in. You can go down to the bottom layers of the ships. They also showed off some of the Portuguese ships, one of the smaller variants, and they remade it into a much bigger one. They also showed that cannons are fully functional in the mod. It's going to be a multiple team set up with the cannon, so you're going to fire it and then someone else will load it for you, much like you do currently with catapults, trebuchets, ballistas, etc. And all of these should be fully functional on defensive settlements as well as on the ships as well. So if you are, say, playing more of the I guess Western influenced clans in the south, and you get your hands on a black ship, a cannon ship, you're going to be able to really utilize that and push that kind of technological advantage over, say, the more traditional clans further north. Speaking of which, they then go on to go and show off some of the unit trees that are currently in the mods, and each of these unit trees are going to have some sort of uniqueness in them. For example, the Chosokabi, who are, you know, famed for their archery, are going to have, you know, obviously much better archers than everybody else. If you go for the more Western clans, they're going to have access to stuff like guns way more frivolously than, say, other factions. The Takeda are going to have, you know, elite cavalry, and the actual unit trees themselves are split up. So you have the militia that kind of go into Ashigaru, and then you of course have the samurai that, you know, level up and get stronger. So of course there is a distinct line between the Ashigaru and the more peasants, and then, you know, of course the samurai. They also mention as well, and this is a feature I love, I'm really excited to see it fully fleshed out. Basically, when you upgrade a soldier, you're going to need a piece of equipment to actually upgrade them, much like currently in vanilla Bannerlord. When you upgrade to an elite horseman, you need a warhorse to actually upgrade them. In their version of the mod, you're going to need, say, for example, if you upgrade a Ashigaru unit to a Naginata, or you just basically upgrade someone to a Naginata, you're going to need a Naginata in your inventory to actually do that. You're going to need a piece of their equipment to actually proceed that level up, and combining that kind of campaign map macro play to more of a micro play of upgrading your soldiers, I think is awesome. However, they do mention that you're not going to be able to go into every single town and stocking up on certain weapons. There are going to be merchants that almost sell these kits. That's kind of how I imagine them. They're going to be like a level up kit almost, that you go to a specific merchant to buy, and this is obviously to tie in with their complete complete rework of the economy and also the industry. So there's going to be specific industries that do focus on building these upgrade equipments, which is just honestly a really cool feature, something I really wish would actually just come to vanilla Bannerlord, giving you that more of a feel like you're commanding an army, you're maintaining an army, and just obviously throwing some, you know, some gold at it, and, you know, just all of a sudden you have a very good soldier. Next, we get to take a look at the land battles. After this, we'll take a look at sieges, and then finally the war camp, which is a very cool new feature that I'll leave towards the end, so make sure you stick around till then. But basically, land battles completely reimagined with these awesome new scenes. The actual campaign map looks incredible. They've also gone ahead and set lighting for each of these maps specifically, so if you fight in the autumn, it will have an autumn hue to it. In the winter and summer, etc., it will all look like them seasons. So of course that is a ton of work, not to mention the amount of maps they have to do. Currently, I think they've implemented enough maps for the current parts of the campaign map, but they also have to then create new ones for all the way off into the rest of Japan, what's left to actually fill up. And considering how gorgeous these maps look, that's gonna take a little while for sure. But yeah, it definitely looks incredible. They've done a great job with these campaign maps. The actual units themselves look really good. They also mentioned later on down the line about formations and different types of things that you're going to be able to do. They say as of right now, volley firing with your units is going to be like the main focus with that, which is going to be cool with the archers volley firing, kind of giving more of that precision. They have also said that spear bracing is something they do want to explore, but it's kind of hard to add and customize formations that are already kind of semi in the game. Bannerlord already has a bit of a spear bracing. Hopefully they can figure out a way to form more of that like you can give an order and they just do kind of brace with that spear way more often. I feel like a lot of the time the AI kind of doesn't really know if they should be spear bracing, if they should have their sword and shield out. So hopefully that is something they can actually clean up and actually present us with a, you know, an Yari Ashigaru spill, where I can channel my inner Oda and just go ham with my Ashigaru. But it's still cool nonetheless that we're getting a volley fire mechanic that's going to look very good when you're firing off kind of just like hordes of arrows at the incoming attackers and turning the rice fields red. Sieges are next on the chopping board, and once again the actual castle maps look incredible, but not only do they look incredible, they play really well. As you're seeing right now, the attacking forces are pushing on to try and overrun this settlement, but the settlements are designed in such a cool way that you're basically channeled into these death funnels where you're getting shot by arrows, you've got artillery firing down, and they're multi-layered as well. It's not just everyone defending one wall, there is actually positions set further and further back. I'm not actually sure how they've managed to do it as well, because this is a feature I've been requesting, multi-level sieges in Bannerlord forever, and they've done a great job. It does seem like as you're pushing through the settlement, the attackers do have waves of defenders further and further back, and there's mini gates the attackers have to try and chop through as they're running through these death traps. I think attacking, and they even mention it in the stream, attacking castles with equal numbers is never going to provide you with a victory. Remember, there's no shields in this era. You know, no one's wielding these shields besides the kind of static deployable ones, which can also be burned and blown up. They mentioned that in sieges, most stuff can be set ablaze and most stuff can be destroyed. They're still working out the fine details on like how that does happen. Do you take damage when you're in the fire, etc.? But again, that's a really, really interesting way to go about it. So because of that, you know, arrows are going to be king. You know, gunpowder, cannon, stuff like that is going to absolutely devastate you, and you're going to need a lot of men to take these fortifications, which is just, yeah, it's such a breath of fresh air to see them really going down this route. It should be brutal conquering a castle. That's why they're designed like this. You may also notice as well, whenever soldiers are standing near a brazier, they actually unlock fire arrows. That's going to be how they approach it. If you're standing too far away, you're going to be shooting normal arrows, but if you're standing near a brazier, which is basically a place where you could light your fire arrows and fire off, that's when you're going to be able to unlock it. You're going to be able to deploy these as well as the defenders, as the attackers. I think as the defenders can be really important, because if you can set their equipment ablaze, you can destroy their defensive shields and stuff, you're going to be able to rack up way more casualties. They also later mention as well that they're planning on trying to make every single building in these sieges actually enterable, whether it's through a defensive manner or you're going very aggressive. Even the inner keep as well, they want to make, they do actually show it towards the end of the live stream as well, that you can go in. Of course, these are going to be filled with props and other stuff. Right now they're just very bare, but the plan is to of course fill these with tons of, you know, items to make it look like a a keep, make it look like a castle, and that should give you the ability to defend. These are pretty large buildings, so you can actually fall back and make your final stand there. Again, awesome. I love multi-level sieges. It's so great. Hopefully they can kind of, you know, fine-tune the AI to actually make it playable in these areas, and we're not just all fully defending. I mean, by the looks of the footage, they've done a great job of it so far, so that's really exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait to see, them really kind of push this forward with the larger castles as well. They're going to run into issues, but they look really good. It's awesome to see how defensible they are. Yeah, you're going to need a lot of peasants to storm something like this. I actually think as well they mention that a lot of the siege equipment as well, like the battering ram, obviously is just vanilla right now. That's going to change. I'm not sure if they're planning on other siege equipments or what. I would also like to see as well maybe a few more attack points. Again, we didn't really see much of it, but it would be cool if there were more ladders or, you know, more ropes for people to climb up, not just the normal vanilla 1 or 2, and maybe even later on down the line having some like ladders inside the settlement. I don't know if that's even possible, but to kind of attack the inner layers, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I'm just like making my wishes now, because we're already eating like a full Thanksgiving Christmas dinner right now. Another thing they mentioned also in these sieges is that recently, with the more recent Tailworld patches, they've messed up the way that archers form up on walls. So a lot of the positions you're seeing should be covered and littered with archers, which just currently aren't the case. Again, the whole purpose is to funnel you into these areas, these death traps, and let the archers really rack up the kills. So, sieges, absolutely phenomenal. They've done a great job with them. The maps that they showed off look great, and the actual the way they play also looks completely different to Bannerlord, and very, very cool. So, next we move on to the War Camp. This is something you can build on the campaign map, and it's going to basically be your base of operations. It's going to be where you basically manage your army. As of right now, there's not tons in it. As you can see, the banners actually fly up your own colors. Eventually, the outer banner is going to also have your actual specific faction banner there as well, which looks very cool. Hopefully they're going to add in a whole wealth of different like army maintenance features in here, like maybe being able to repair weapons for your original soldiers and stuff would all be kind of cool. That's actually be a very cool system, right? Just like how horses can get lame, maybe soldiers can also have their weapons deteriorate and you actually have to repair them. Anyway, right here they show off another feature where you can actually promote soldiers who have done something heroic in battle. As you can see, you've got their age, you've got their homelands, their troop type, and also their achievement. This achievement is going to change depending on what they've done. As of right now, they've got slay lots of soldiers, or maybe being the last man standing in a gruesome battle. If they do achieve something like this, you're going to be able to promote them into a companion, and you're going to be able to go ahead and take them along with you to go ahead and command your soldiers. So actually rise troops through the ranks into that companion level, and then you can actually talk to them and have a proper conversation. I think in this one, one of the people playing asked the soldier, you know, how his company was doing, how's he's doing, and he was basically saying, hey, we have 6 infantry and the army needs way more horses to go ahead and maneuver around the campaign map. And that's actually a specific thing because he doesn't have any horses, so it's actually tied in. You can ask your companions these things and stuff that they need, and they'll basically give you tips on how to actually improve your game, almost like, hey bro, we're starving here, give us some more food or some more variety, or give us more horses so we can move further. Just overall linking it together. Also, they did very much mention as well that this face that you're looking on this companion, 100% work in progress. This is just basically a placeholder right now. Nowhere near represents the final, the final finished product, as you can, probably guess. That is going to be a brief summary. Hopefully I managed to get this video kind of short. They still mentioned a ton of other stuff, so maybe I'll go through in a live stream or something later on, and we'll just watch it all together. They showed us loads of battle stuff. 100% go over and check out their Discord. They're going to be posting more stuff there. I think they've got a very good HD video coming in the next week or two, so definitely keep an eye out for that. I'll also link the actual unlisted streams for you guys to go check out if you want to watch the entire thing. And if you want me to maybe go in and cover the stream, cover their streams in maybe one of my streams, we can kind of go through it and have a discussion about everything. Then let me know down below in the comments. Let me know if you're excited for this mod, if you want me to keep on covering it whenever they drop new content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.